Guardian Radio AM, and today is Thursday, December the 11th, and it's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning. Once again, this is C.A. Neri, and I shall be your host for the day. Today, we actually have the privilege of hosting two people. We have one person in studio and one person on Zoom. In studio, we have the Bahamas Paradigm Movement, who is in the person of Arthur McDonald, and he's here to explain his program, his entity. So we'll be happy to have a dialogue with him later on in the show. And on Zoom, okay? Mm-hmm. Go ahead, introduce yourself. You're live.
Yes. Hi.
Pleasant good morning.
That's Arthur McDonald right there.
Mr. Newey, and pleasant good morning, Bahamas. Always good to be here.
Good. And on Zoom, we have Exceptional Education Outreach. I'm just confirming that we can connect with them.
Yes.
Oh, you're live.
I'm here. Hi. Good morning.
I'm glad to hear you. We're going to start off with you, ma'am. I want you to introduce yourself and then explain your entity.
Okay. Hi, my name is Lang Hudepohl. I am the founder of an organization called EEO Bahamas. It's also called Exceptional Education Outreach. And we are celebrating our 25th year of providing special education and literacy programs in the public schools on the Family Islands. We started in Harbor Island, moved to Eleuthera, and just this year we had a formalized partnership with the Ministry of Education, and we are branching out to the entire Family Islands: Exumas, Cat Island, Long Island, Andros, Acklands. So we've been at it for a long time, and we help children who have learning differences, is what we say: literacy and special ed.
Literacy and special ed. First of all, I would like to thank you for your commitment to Bahamians who have challenges and make sure that they're included. What is your mandate in terms of your organization?
We want to make sure that every child has the opportunity to reach their personal potential. We approach this with a multi-prong approach. We do hearing and vision screening so that we make sure there's no physical impairment that's impeding on their learning. We also do teacher trainings, and we also have daily in-class instruction. So we're within the public schools, and we're providing small group instructions, and we're trying to make sure every child is given the opportunity, because as we know in 2025 that the world needs all kinds of minds, and not everyone learns the same way. So we partner with the Ministry of Education to make this happen. Even though we're a nonprofit, they are a crucial part of what we've done.
You mentioned that you're a non-profit NGO, non-government organization.
Yes.
But how do you get funding? And because what you're doing is mammoth. You basically have the span of the entire archipelago, Family Islands, right?
Yep.
And you're an added resource. How are you able to fund all of this?
So when it began, we started in Harbor Island. I'm a special education teacher. That's my background. And it was just myself sitting under a shade tree in Harbor Island all-age school. And the funding came from people seeing the results of the work that I was doing, and volunteers coming in. And all of a sudden we had children who, even in high school, I would start working with some non-readers and get them up to reading level. So most of the funding came from people who had family foundations on Harbor Island. And then as the program grew to Eleuthera, businesses started to contribute, and some charity organizations would give. But I would say 80% of our funding is from individuals who have homes or have families that have a child with special needs, and it touches their heart.
So you have limited funding, but will you welcome more funding?
Oh, yes, especially now that we're expanding to the Family Islands, because we want to support what the Ministry of Education is doing so that we can encourage more programs. The Family Islands have a lot less resources. So, yes, we are always looking for more funding. And our budget is not huge. And what we're doing now with the Family Island Partnership is matching what the government puts in for teacher salaries, we're providing those teachers with supplies, a laptop, really crucial training resources, and assessment tools, as well as the hearing and vision screening for their students, because that's always something we need to rule out, is to make sure a child is not falling behind because of that. So yes, of course, funding is always a struggle, but yes.
Okay, and before I go on, because I have a number of more questions I want to ask you, but I want the listening audience to know how to get in contact with you, so I don't want to bypass that. So this is going to give an opportunity now, a phone number, a social media link, in terms of how do we, the listening audience, support you, Bahamians support you in your program.
Okay, wonderful. So it's EEO, which stands for Exceptional Education Outreach, EEO Bahamas, all one word. And that's our Instagram. On Facebook, we're Friends of Harbor Island and Eleuthera, but now that we're spreading to the Family Islands, we're going to have to change that. And our website is also eeobahamas.org. And my phone number, which I'm the founder, executive director, we have a good team, but I'm the main person that handles the donors, is 305-389-7485. So I'm out of Miami, but all that information's on our website, and a lot of impact reports and student success stories, all of that in video that sort of grabs your heart is all on our website, eeobahamas.org, O-R-G. And we're a registered charity in Bahamas as well as in the United States. So if someone wanted to give a tax deduction donation, we're a 501c3. And we're looking to partner with more Bahamian businesses and more investors in the Bahamas who care about the future, because these are those students that have different minds, who have some of the answers that we need to make sure are not getting lost by lack of resources.
And you mentioned that these are students would have different minds or different outlook on how to pursue their education. I want you to walk us through your support. You say you've partnered with the Ministry of Education. You've gone throughout the Family Islands to make sure you render that support. But I want to appreciate what support that you give, like a everyday focus. What exactly does your organization do, or how do they partner with the government?
So every day at the moment we're in 9 schools on Eleuthera, and then that are EEO teachers, and we do pull-out programs. So we have, or push-in, it depends on sort of the teacher that we're working with, and we identify students that are failing 3 or more reading grade levels behind, and we give them a full assessment, so a diagnostic assessment, so we know where to start and what their gaps are. And we work in small groups of like 5 to 7 maximum. And so this individualized instruction allows the students to start where they need to start, where they're not in a whole group of 30 students and falling behind and losing self-confidence. So we partner within the Ministry of Education schools. This is not a private school. This is all, the ultimate goal is to create a sustainable program. So everything is to enable the Ministry of Education teachers to have more tools to be able to reach these students, more resources, more supplies. Now the teachers in the other Family Islands, and there's a few teachers that are hired by the Ministry of Education on Eleuthera as well, they are part of sort of our new branch. This has only been our 25th year this happened, which is called the Family Island Partnership, which is us supporting the Ministry of Ed teachers. And right now we have 11 Family Island Partnership teachers that are hired by the Ministry of Ed, but supported by EEO Bahamas. As I mentioned, with supplies, with training, with hearing vision screening, with the assessment tools. Did that answer your question?
It does.
Okay.
And I got 2 texts for you to repeat your contact information.
Oh, gladly.
Good morning. Contact for the EEO representative again.
Okay, again, my name is Lang, and my email is lang, Lang, at eeobahamas.org. And our website is eeobahamas.org. And our Instagram is EEO Bahamas. Facebook, you can find us on Friends of Harbor Island and Eleuthera. And my phone number is 305-389-7485.
Okay. And you mentioned that you have EEO teachers, and I wanted to appreciate exactly what does that mean.
So those are teachers that work full-time, 4 to 5 days a week within the school systems, within the schools, where they have a separate little resource room, and they take students for a portion of the day to work on their reading skills, and then they integrate them back in. And we've had students mainstreamed over the years. Our last staff meeting, we shared sort of our statistics of where we're at, and we have had over 710 students mainstream since we started back in 2000. We have 7 EEO centers. We have after-school centers. We have 205 students that are working as part of the EEO program. And then when you combine in the Family Island Partnership students, which is another 300, in total this year, we're supporting 505 students. And we're across 16 schools in the Family Islands.
So you have 16 schools, and then you have 505 students now that you are working with, right?
Yep.
And you mentioned that you have evaluators come in and you identify students who are struggling to read. In terms of parents who are listening who are in Nassau, realizing that you're Family Island based and concentrating on the Family Island, but they want resources to say, well, my child haven't struggled.
Yes.
Right, but they need resources that they could read or access. Does your organization give resources like that?
Yes, thanks to Zoom. When we do workshops, even if they are live, we make sure that they're live streamed. So last February, we brought in Dr. Alessandri from University of Miami, who's the head of an organization called CARD, which is Center for Autism and Related Disease, and disorders, and he spoke to the teachers and parents. We brought in OT and speech therapists. This February, we'll be doing, again, a live workshop in Eleuthera, but we'll be streaming it on Zoom. So if you check on our website, we'll have that information, or you're always welcome to reach out to me personally, and I can put you on our mailing list. Because a lot of the support needs to come from home for students who have low self-esteem, who might be on the autism spectrum, which we've seen a huge rise in. We work with students with dyslexia or different learning differences, ADHD. And then sometimes there's students that just have emotional struggles, and those are the ones that we work with for a short bit. We get their self-esteem up, and we mainstream them back full time and get them feeling like they can do it again, because that's a huge component of it, is the desire and the belief in yourself, as you know.
The Bahamas tend to have challenges monitoring, managing statistics, right? And you're dealing with the Family Islands, which, because of their location, tend not to be included in the overall statistics. Everything tends to be Nassau-based, New Providence-based, right?
Yeah.
You mentioned dyslexia, right? Having problems learning differently. I use that term, learning differently, right? Because
yes.
I'm dyslexic, actually. I have issues
the most
how I read.
Brilliant people are that I really, really have.
You have me blush now, calling me brilliant, or suggesting I may be brilliant. I just tend to read backwards. Like I turn the book backwards and have difficulty understanding the words and stuff, right? I want to know the statistics in terms of the Family Island and what we are seeing, right? Even in terms of the results of the grade level assessment. The statistics of the Family Islands tend to be on the back burner, so we cannot appreciate, or some people say we do not appreciate what is happening in the Family Island schools. But you being there,
yes.
What are you seeing amongst the 505 students that you're working with? Is there a concern about learning disabilities on the Family Islands, and that we should be aware of?
Yes, Yes, we don't have formal censuses on the Family Islands. I've been working recently more in depth with the Ministry of Education team on trying to get some data. But from what we see within our programs, usually it's about 20% of the school population is falling severely behind. And yes, sometimes it's dyslexia, sometimes it's that the student started falling behind early on. There's a lack of resources and support. I don't know if you know this, but in the Bahamas, first grade, it starts a lot earlier than in the United States. So I was trained, I have my master's in special ed from Florida International University. And in the United States, we start at first grade at age 7 or 6. In the Bahamas, it's age 5. So if a child is already predisposed to some sort of learning difference, the frustration and the helplessness is so quick to be a secondary problem. Because if a child doesn't believe, they're hearing, oh, he's lazy, or he's stupid, they'll start to believe it themselves. So you ask for a specific amount. I wouldn't be able to say exactly how many students have specific learning disabilities, but usually it's about 20% of the school population, and that's being modest. That's on the modest end of things. There's a lot of students that are struggling. And then there is also the ESL component that always kind of gets blended in with special ed because it's a a reading problem, and we do offer those parents support, after school support, and those students support as well. But our main focus is a child with, and I say differences because I've never loved the word disability. I feel like just like you, look at you and you have a successful job, and I'm sure you see things in a different way. Just because a mind might not process the same way, it doesn't mean that the intelligence and the potential is not there. We have former students who are pilots, we have nurses, a couple pilots actually, boat captains, mechanics, chefs, teachers. So, these are not children that don't have the capability. They just need the extra support. And for the more severe, we do work with them as well. But a lot of those families do travel to Nassau for the more in-depth support.
Today we're talking to Lang from the Exceptional Education Outreach, EEO of Bahamas, and we're talking about their program, the Family Island-based program, where they render support to the Ministry of Education, special needs, persons with learning disability or challenges, and she's affording opportunity. You mentioned earlier, Lang, about EEO centers. Mm-hmm. Where are these centers located, and are these centers available to, right? Like you just walk in. I'm talking Family Islands. You just walk up to the center and say, "Hey, I need some support."
No, they're all within the public schools. So right now we are in 9 schools across Harbor Island and Eleuthera, and then on the Family Islands, they're not necessarily run by EEO, but they're Family Island teachers, special ed teachers that we're supporting. So no, you can't, you would have to be a student at the school and then be referred to the program through the principal and the teacher. We sort of have a process that way. But if, there have been students that are not in a school that we're supporting, and they reach out to us and we provide support otherwise. We get the parents' support. We have one-on-one therapists that will work with parents and offer strategies. We try to do more in-depth evaluations, but that's one of our struggles, along with funding.
I can imagine funding is always important and is always a challenge, and I'm glad that you have international funding. I'm glad that the Ministry of Education has partnered with you, and so we just need local organizations here to accept and actualize that you need support and your organization needs support to definitely impact Family Islanders and particularly Family Islanders regarding special ed and children getting extra opportunity. But is there any big or function happening soon, or any announcements that you need to announce?
We just had our 25th year celebration / fundraiser at a place called the Dunmore Hotel on Harbor Island. And we're planning on doing one in Nassau in the early spring, but we're looking for someone to host it. The Family Islands, we're all connected. And I explain this to people from the States, that we all have communities that overlap. So, yes, we just finished that one, but we're still on our 25th year drive. We have a goal we're trying to finish reaching because we didn't reach it at the fundraiser. It's very hard. There's a lot of, when we started, there were not this many charities and nonprofits. It's become a whole different, become a whole different world out there now. But what we pride ourselves on is a very low admin. We do, the money that we raise goes to the programs that support the children. We're not like Red Cross not that Red Cross is wonderful, but we're not a giant non-NGO. We are a very small grassroots organization. So if you give through our website, you can keep in touch and we'll let you know exactly what the funds went to. And also some people direct them to specific islands or specific causes. But we are looking for businesses, for Bahamian investors to realize that this is their workforce, this is the community that we need to support. And if without the support, they're the children that are frustrated and resentful in the community,
And can independent organizations, like I know there's a Long Island Association, there's an Acklands Association, can they pinpoint which island they want to donate to, and then you put forward resources, particularly for PEG resources, particularly for an island? Or can that happen?
Yes, it can. We are only 1 year in, or not even 6 months into the Family Island Partnership component, but we definitely target certain funds to certain family islands. And if you email me and you have questions, I don't have, this weekend we're going to the Exumas to meet with the Friends of the Exumas, which is an organization, but I don't have a lot of connections with the Family Islands. This is a new program that we're just now rolling out.
Okay. And my last question to you is trends. Are you seeing any trends or concerns about any increase in the number of young people having challenges in terms of that early reading that the Bahamas should concentrate on?
Yes, I sadly have seen a huge upswing in autism spectrum related struggles and disorders. There's when we started, I felt like we only had about 5 to 7 students that would fall under that category, and these are not all diagnosed students, but we have seen a lot of increase in the schools. And we have a center now that the Ministry of Ed is covering called the Center for Exceptional Learner on Eleuthera, but I would like to have one of those on every family island so we can truly support them in an inclusive way as much as possible, making sure that they get the support and then they're able to integrate back into their community and not be separated from their community.
Okay, Ms. Lang, I'm going to give you the last word. When we
Thank
we're
you.
going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to come back to Bahamas Paradigm Movement with Arthur McDonald. But go ahead, you have the last word.
The last word is to respect all types of minds and to make sure that children have opportunities, whether their community has the resources or not. We have to work together, and we need to formulate plans to help all types of children, all types of minds reach their full potential. And I would love to hear from you. I would love to get some emails after this, and whether it be a connection because of special needs, a connection because of the Family Islands, I would love to hear from you. And it's lang@eeobahamas.org, and our website's eeobahamas.org. I really appreciate your time today and inviting us.
No, I appreciate you coming on. I hope to have you on again so we could talk some statistics on what we are facing.
Yes, I do. And I look forward to hearing about the next organization. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Lang. This has been Guardian Radio AM with CA Nuri. We're going to take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk to Bahamas